All right. Hey, this is Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk, Coffee Talk. I'm Guido. That's. Who are you?
I think I'm Pilgrim, but hey, hi everybody.
He is completely stoned on tea right now. He just,
Third cup. Third cup.
Oh, man. Well, happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Here we are on Coffee Talk. We got a good script for you today. A good show. You don't call it a script, do you? You call it a show. You have a script for the show. But this is us, and here we are. I was just whining to Pilgrim about how much I was outside yesterday cleaning the screen room. That is exactly the amount of sympathy he gave me. None. Not as. How is the weather there, by the way? We might as well start off with that, because that's always the subject du jour in Blighty.
This light stuff coming through the window is actually sunshine in the UK.
Holy macaron.
I know, look at it.
Wow. All right, so explain
That's the dark side.
That's the England side.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, explain the flags. You explained it to me. Explain it to everybody. What do we got?
Right, okay, here we go. That hand there. There is the England flag, because on the 21st of April it was the patron saint of England's day, which is St. George, who killed the dragon, of course.
Right.
And, of course, the Union flag is the makeup of the the three kingdoms, plus that other one over the water. Is that side? To celebrate that.
Yeah. What was the dragon's name? Did it have a name?
Pete. He was quite magic. Yeah, he was a magic dragon.
Somehow yesterday, you know what I did yesterday for about an hour?
I watched. You're going to tell me.
Yeah, I am going to tell you. Absolutely, I'm going to tell you. I watched an English gentleman. It's called Modern History or something, and he shows all these night things. And I watched for an hour what various levels of people ate in the Middle Ages, like from peasants to the king. And the lady that was with him was cooking all these different, no kidding, medieval recipes and stuff. That's what I did yesterday.
Wow. Yeah. Well, so you're up to speed on what the peasants. I thought the peasants ate mud. I thought peasants just ate mud.
They ate really well. They had mushy peas and rough bread, a trencher, I think it's called, the hard bread that was your cup that you ate out of and stuff. So, man, we really got off track quickly here.
Didn't we just?
Yeah,
we should. World of Tanks.
We should talk about some World of Tanks. In my garage, which Pilgrim cannot see, you can see that I have the Cavalier. So one of the three new tanks, right? We've got the Cavalier, the T6, and the BT5, and those came with 1.9. We're going to talk about 1.9 as well. But channel news-wise, what am I doing? I am not trying to get the 279 early. I'll tell you that much for nothing. If it happens, it happens. Unfortunately for those missions, if you're not trying to do them, you're probably gimping yourself pretty badly. You're in a hard time. But I will tell you what, nothing but misery trying to chase those things. They're so RNG dependent. And what I mean by that is not necessarily your shots, but things like maps and teams, right? So lump that into the RNG, kind of the randomness of the game. If you're trying to do the scout things, right? They're Pilgrim, and I have a good scout game, and a good scout game, you got to have 5, and you need to average 2,000, I think it is a game. And then all of a sudden you get Himmelsdorf in the middle of it, and then you get another city map, and it's all over. That's so frustrating.
Yeah, you sort of get that close, and then bang, it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, clearly people are doing it, but this is. We may get into this a little while later, because I was talking or watching some of the CCs talk a little bit about the 279, and then some other. I think it's in relation to the Q&A, which we'll get to a little while later, and in the CC channels discussing reward tanks and this kind of thing. And I'm just, holy cow, what a mess. All right, so anyway, I've kind of decided to not worry about that. I'll get back to it probably at some point. I'll get an itch for it, but it was starting to irritate me. Safe and hunkered down myself. You guys doing good over there as far as health and wellness?
Yeah, and all that stuff? The latest news we've had is that the Prime Minister is back in office on Monday, so he's had his 2 weeks recovery in Chequers. Good. And he's back holding the reins. So I think he's probably one of the only world leaders who've gone down with it.
Yeah, at least that badly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So good news for the country.
Good.
And I think, most people are still observing the lockdown, and another couple of weeks of it, maybe. I don't know.
We'll see, man. I hope so. I hope everybody else is doing well out there and staying safe and healthy. Absolutely. I think is the biggest thing there.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I'm still playing a little bit of that other game, the old War Thunder thing, the airplanes. I put a meow. Do you like that? I made the yes sound.
Is that specific pilot training? That you go on your course and you've got to go wow. You're going to make those noises.
Well, yeah, and then when you shoot stuff, you have to make the machine gun noise.
Oh, do you? Can you do a 30 mil? Let's hear your 30 mil then. Yeah, okay.
So you know what was interesting about those kind of guns to me that I didn't realize till I got in the military is a 30 cal or a 50 cal is not it's a
it's a thumper. Yeah, it's a thump.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can hear every individual shell. It's fast. But you can hear specifically, that always kind of surprised me. Yeah. The first time I heard it. Yeah. Where were we? Oh, I was.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I was making airplane noises.
You were.
I just realized.
You're going to do this.
No. I am going to shoot my watch down though, but I have to. But I have to use a X-wing.
Wow.
Because I actually do not have any kind of real airplane on my desk. I'm very surprised.
It's behind you.
That's true. But those would be big. I need some airplanes on a stick so I can do that. But I can show my BFM with a TIE fighter and a.
All right. Yeah. I'll make that then.
Holy cow, we're off track again.
Oh, we just.
Mountain Blade War Thunder. I did put a video out for War Thunder yesterday, my second foray into it. And I plan on doing at least one more because I have a few more thoughts on that game. And then I'll start grinding a little bit and come back after I get further on. My next stream should be Monday, but I have to teach a class earlier in the morning. So maybe slightly later. At some point I have to mow my lawn, complaining, yes. And then possibly Tuesday, we'll see if that happens. I did want to address one serious thing, though, for the channel, and I only want to touch on it. And it's drama. So I had a video, somebody came on there, was not happy with somebody either in the clan or me. It's hard to determine exactly what the issue is right there. I do appreciate people kind of countering that person and talking to them, but not required, obviously. What I ask is that everybody remain civil and not get into name calling on the channel. I'm surprised. I was actually talking to Pilgrim a little bit earlier, and we had a little discussion about clans and things like this. I'm surprised nothing like this has happened. On the one hand, it's a good thing. On the other hand, it's actually a bad thing, because usually when you get big enough, this stuff is on the peripheral as well. I actually had a discussion with Sophie about the very same thing. When off the interview, when we were done, we talked probably another hour actually about things like this, the business around the business. So my point of all this is I appreciate everybody being concerned and kind of talking this through. There were a couple names thrown around. I'm going to leave that chat up on that particular video for now, but just understand that if any chat goes off the rails, I will just delete that entire thread because I don't want to deal with it. So on the other hand, if you think somebody in my clan or myself is cheating, please get that information to the right people. In this particular, to the clan, get that to me or the clan commander, Mad Dog the First. Pilgrim will take it as well as one of the officers of the clan, and I promise you, we'll take a look at it. And if we can prove that somebody's cheating, then they'll be gone. That there's no second chance, as far as I'm concerned, on provable stuff. So I just wanted to throw that out for everyone's out there, and anyone who feels like they've been wronged. I can't do anything unless you actually send me some information. So I'm not going to obviously go off of casting aspersions and things like that. All right, that's enough of that crap. Let's move on. Missions and specials. Missions. What have you been working on there, Pilgrim?
I like we said the other day, with my missions, I've sort of just let it roll. You know, apart from the obvious, the Battle of Berlin anniversary. You sort of look at that, the brawl, and then the additional missions that are coming down with the anniversary. So I've sort of kept my eye on those and trying to get them out of the way. I've been doing the dailies and the premium one and all that sort of. But the rest of it, if it happens, it happens. You know, there's so much. Like we said, there is so much to try and get through.
Do you have trouble keeping track of the EU NA missions? Does it ever kind of mix together for you?
Yeah.
Do you ever think you're doing one mission on one server and you're actually not on that server?
Yeah. The saving grace of that is that I have a better range of tanks on the NA server account than I do on the EU account. So I can almost look at my tank list and go, oh yeah, I'm on the EU one because I don't have. I'll go and try and get a tier 10 out, which I don't have any tier 10s on the EU account.
Yeah.
I'll go and try and get a tier 10 out. I'll go, where are they all? Oh, I'm on the EU server. Yeah, but yeah, the missions are fairly similar.
Plus, at your age,
especially the anniversary ones.
At your age, I imagine every time you open up your account, it's like it's a journey.
Struggle.
It's a journey of discovery. I was like, oh look, look at this tank.
I have a pen, and I write things on paper. Look,
Just get yourself a yellow. Yourself a yellow sticky and
got those. Look, got those. I don't do technology.
All right, man. Yeah, so I'm kind of doing the same thing. What do we got going on? We got in NA anyway. We'll just stick with that. Tank Rewards ends on the 28th, so finish that up. That gives you today, and bizarrely tomorrow. It actually ends on Tuesday, which surprises me, but whatever. There you go. So that's Tank Rewards. Scavenger Hunt at the end of April. I think it goes through to the last day of April. I didn't look at the schedule, but that's going to be the 30th. That's going to be the 30th on Thursday. I've fallen off on that. I've actually only done 11 codes. Have you been doing the Scavenger Hunt stuff?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. One of the lads in the clan have been posting the codes on a daily basis. So rather than me hunt it, he's actually just thrown it out there, which is great stuff. But I've got it down to finishing on Friday, the 1st of May. But
okay,
I guess.
No, that sounds good. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Frontline is coming back on the 20. Well, I wrote down 23rd. That can't be right because the 23rd is over.
27th, I think.
7th, yeah, there you go. That's actually tomorrow. There you go, Monday.
Yeah.
So the third iteration of Frontline. Did you see? We'll get to this in a minute. Did you see that there's a new PvE event coming up? That was just dropped on the. We'll talk about it in just a second. That was actually just dropped on the website there. In fact, it's not even just a second. It's now, folks. We're going to talk about it now.
All right, Hot news on Guido's channel.
That's going right off the press. Right there, all right, so there it is. Get this coming up for me here. Man, I'm telling you what, I am getting so savvy with the screens thing. It only took us an hour today for Guido to get sorted out, but I'm actually able to move some things around my screen without it showing up. I've done that in the past, or maybe my script or some other thing gets goobered up. So good job.
Well done, Colonel.
Yeah, welcome to 2005, yeah. What were we talking about? Help me out.
There was something on the... No, we were talking... I'll tell you what we were talking. We were about to move on to missions and specials.
Yes, thank you.
That's what we were going to do.
That was a smooth segue right there. I like it. XP Conversion Weekend, folks. XP Conversion Weekend, which is tied into the Battle of Britain thing. Looks like 103,342 so far mission rewards given for the Battle of Britain.
Can I interrupt? Did you just say Battle of Britain?
Yeah, Battle of Britain. And, no, Berlin.
There you go.
I could have said Battle.
You said it last week as well. I was thinking, have I missed something?
Did I say Battle of Britain last week?
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything to embarrass you.
This is actually a problem because I'm known for misspeaks, and if you correct all of them, then where's the comedy?
I know exactly, so we'll let that ride. You can edit this.
I can bleep it. I can bleep it over with Battle of Britain.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, for the Battle of Britain, Berlin, XP Conversion Weekend, 1 gold for 35. That's actually a pretty good deal if you need to do that. I spent a lot of free experience when I first started playing. That is probably the thing I spent gold on the most was converting free experience, just to get modules out of tanks so I didn't have to play. Right now it's kind of a challenge and I don't have too much trouble. And they actually make the stock tanks a little better these days. Not all of them, but a lot of them are they're not great, but they're okay. Back in the day, some of them were truly horrendous. That's what I spent a lot of that on. So we got that going on. What else we got? We've got XP conversion next weekend. Oh, they just actually added a thing. April tank mastery missions, wave 4. Remember, those are codes, so you're going to have to put those in for the tank mastery. You can buy stuff from Wargame. We'll get to that in just a minute. Final step in the Battle of Berlin. Oh, that was what I was trying to get to a little bit earlier. The PVE
That was
event.
it.
Did you notice that? There's a PVE like Homefront.
No, I do you know what? I haven't seen it. So
Yeah.
is it just dropped now? Has it?
It's the
Or was it
road.
on?
It's the road to Britain. No, it's the road to Berlin. It's the
You'd
road
be
to Berlin.
swimming. It's not a road to Britain.
That's right.
Like it's called the English Channel. That big
yeah.
stretch of water,
Across the pond.
or the Atlantic. Yeah, sorry.
I think. I guess they're rolling out the Berlin map actually in this event.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, very
That'd be
interesting. So I'm looking at it on the webpage, and there's a lot of pictures, and it's the Berlin map they've been talking about, but they're going to have a PVE event on it.
Well, I'm going to get to this site.
Yeah, get to it. So here's the claim. This is great. I love this.
Oh yeah, look at that.
The AI enemy, smarter and more dangerous. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be about my level then, so I'm happy with that. But
It'll be, when they say more dangerous, what that means is that usually they're going to be more accurate, which means they're going to have probably less RNG when they shoot at you.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they'll do things. That's the only way you make AI like that. Yes, there's some other machine learning and things you can do to kind of tweak the routes they take and how they react and stuff like that. But usually it's
Yeah, the reaction. I mean, a lot of the bots just sit there and take 3 or 4 shells before they even turn the turret towards you. So if they up that sort of reaction time, then it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, if they put the right software around it and took all that data, they can actually teach the AI to be smarter. There is that machine learning thing. So that'll be interesting. That is on May 3rd, so not this week, but the week after. Yep.
And the map looks quite a good map, doesn't it? I quite like that.
Yeah, very detailed, actually. And I know that they've hinted at this map a couple times. So does that mean we're going to get it? Interesting that they can... You know what they're doing here, to be quite honest? What they're doing is they're getting some map testing with AI.
Yeah.
People playing a PvE event,
Yeah.
which is not necessarily a bad idea. I'm sure there'll be some rewards involved as well. So Road to Berlin, look for that. That will be interesting. Let me see if I can get out of this. There we go. We got that Berlin. We'll get to this shilling here in just a minute. We talked about Frontline. All right, so let's jump in the premium shop. Just see what we got here. A couple tanks have showed up. We had the Super Mutant last week, as well as the 220, the KB 220-2, as well as the KB5. They're still in there for now. The Summa is back. You got one of those, Pilgrim? The Summa SM?
No, I haven't got one, but I think I've heard that people say this is probably quite a good French tank.
It is. It's got usable, not great, but usable armor. It's got an autoloader. It's quite slow, but you're not that bothered, and it's an interesting combo to have an autoloader with armor that's slow. There's not a whole bunch of those in the game. That's not really a thing for the most part. And again, it's not great armor. It's tier 8 heavy, folks. The C's tier 9s and tier 10s they're gonna butter it, especially with dabbing 2 when they go for skill. However,
so there's no preferential treatment with it at all.
No, not for the SM.
Okay.
I quite like it. It's definitely a different kind of play style. Like I said, a slow armored autoloader is a little bit different. It does.
Can I jump in with while you're talking about this, because this actually makes a little bit of sense about stuff. Shut up, Pilgrim. Okay.
Go for it.
I've got both. I've got my EU account premium shop up and my NA server premium account shop. And the price differences. Now, I know it's priced to sell in whichever area it is, but the price difference can be quite significant. So, for example, let's take the Summa, which actually is not available in the EU at this moment in time, so we won't take the Summa.
Do not take the Summa.
No, but I'll tell you what.
About the KB5.
Yeah, the KB5. Okay, so in the EU, the big package is £49.61.
Yeah.
In the NA server, it's £53.51. So it's almost £4 more expensive to buy it on the NA server than it is on the EU server.
Oh, right, because you're getting both those in pounds. Interesting.
It converts the dollars into pounds for me.
Right. Well, check that out.
So, there's What's that work out? About 10% difference?
You just said it's more expensive on NA?
Yeah, more expensive on NA.
That checks. Yeah, that checks. Because they're set on the EU, they're selling to Eastern Europe as well, so they've got to drop that price point slightly.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, there you go.
I'll shut up now.
No, that's... You always hear about that, and it's good to have somebody who can actually look at both prices in the same place, £4, as opposed to doing the conversion between dollars.
Now, wouldn't it be interesting if they had server roaming? Because then you would purchase on the cheap site and still be able to use that tank on the NA server.
Well, see, that's just technically impossible. Nobody has server roaming. Why would?
Of course they don't. No, there's not a game in the business that does server roaming. And anybody who says they does, rubbish.
We'll get to that. We're going to get to that.
Okay.
That's the Q&A. Don't try not to jump ahead there.
Okay.
Oh man. All right. So gold, pretty standard. Not much going on gold wise. Premium account. Yep, you can buy a premium account. I have a bunch of coupons here. Don't know where they come from. Various missions and whatnot. As far as the vehicles go, again, it's the Summa. I didn't see anything in here. The KV2R is still available if you need that premium KV2. The Eagle 7 is out. I quite like that. I talked about it last week. Here was an interesting thing as I was going through this. So our price, my price there, Pilgrim, for the Summa SM is $49. And and the 50 TP prototype, which is a heavy, also the Polish premium heavy, is $41. $41.
There's a price difference. There's
$8 difference between two different heavies. So that got me to thinking.
Crazy.
That got me to thinking. What is how do they price these things? Right? They're both tier 8 heavies, premium heavies. Is there some calculation of effectiveness? Is there some calculation of popularity based on the nation? Is it a combo of those two things? How do they figure out these prices of same class, same tier tanks with different price points?
Well, it's like, I guess any big company will have enough data to say that this is a seller, so we can price it at this price because we know people will buy this. This is not so much of a seller, but if we drop it by $5, $6, $10, people will start to buy it. So it's all about...
Actually, yeah, and I agree with you, but here's another thing that's interesting. I just noticed. It's a 15% off for the prototype. The standard price was $48. That's $1 off. However, also too, and in addition to, the 50 TP comes with those 25 missions times 5.
Yes.
And the Summa does not. And those times 5 missions are often, in their opinion, worth more. So still, it's not as bad as I thought, but there's still definitely a price difference. And with the 50 TP prototype, you're getting 25 times 5 missions on top of that. So you're paying less, you're getting more. Not as bad as I thought, but it's still there. I don't know, man.
It's I guess it's some marketing guy sitting there going, this is a selling point. How do you price pixels? You've got to aim it. You've got to aim it at the right level for people to actually put their hand in the pocket, haven't you?
Yeah, and there's definitely that there. Obviously, that's what marketing does. They're going to take a look at that. But I guess I'm just always curious about what the background is. Like, what are those numbers? What do you look at? They'll never tell me.
No.
I'd love to know, though. I want to be that fly on the wall that understands what their logic is. I think this plays, once again, foreshadowing, this is going to play directly in, hey, Command, can you get off the sauce? What, you know what I mean?
I need it to cope with you, man.
All right. That was my cue to stop talking about that. Let's move on. Specials-wise, I think we've talked about it. Can you buy I'm assuming you can, buy the coins, the event coins? Do you have
there's that's something I was going to bring up as well, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Then again, there is a significant price difference from... So I've made some notes here on the post-it.
Oh, good.
A large auxiliary package on the NA is priced at £41.34. The auxiliary package, the large auxiliary package on the EU is £37.62. So again, you're talking £4 or £5 difference.
Wait a minute, it's more
which
on
is what,
EU?
$10, $12. Yeah, it's cheaper on the EU.
Oh, cheaper. Okay, I got that.
Yeah, no, it's £37.62 on the EU.
Right.
So yeah, as you were saying, it's confirmation that they're selling to a different market.
Sure.
But
yeah.
For me, the question is, if you're a marketeer and you priced an item, then surely that price is the same across the whole range. So RNA being spanked because you're paying $10 more for something than you would in EU. That's, to me, I think that's a little bit cynical, to say the least. That's my personal opinion. That's,
But I mean, that happens across so many different industries anyway. All right, so let's go to, we're going to go to the missions tab on the UI and see what's going on real quickly, and then we'll get into the rest of what we're doing. But so Act 1, the good old days, the Great Hunt, and the Black Spot. I'm done with all those. Those were actually fairly easy.
Yep.
It's a little bit of a grind, and if you're a 5-10 game player a day, that'll take you a little while, but I think you should all be getting pretty close. Oh, by the way, you best be getting close because it's done on the 28th of April.
Yeah.
Again, going to Tuesday. Isn't that kind of odd?
Yeah, it is weird. Why Tuesday?
I wonder if they've changed that a little bit because of the COVID thing. They've given people an extra day, just as kind of throwing that out there.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible there.
Why not?
All right, so we've got that going on, and scavenger hunt. Like I said, I've only done 11 of those. You know what is also interesting about that? Remember how it used to be 3 personal reserves? Now it's 1 for each code.
Yeah.
They do have the experience things in there as well. That's a good thing. That's on there. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting that they have changed that quite a bit, and it's a bit less lucrative than it was. But it was a pretty good deal. So there you go.
I think also with everything else that's going on, there's so much free stuff out there now with all the missions.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So they're probably just, we can drop that a little bit and nobody would notice it as such.
Yep, true. Tank rewards, like I said, goes on till the 28th. So you can still get stuff. And they're all small kits and things, which is okay. If you don't use those like I don't, you can sell them. So it's at least worth a little bit of credits. Heavy tank courses, won't worry about. Lot Salute is the veteran thing for the U.S. Community hunting. I still don't know what this is.
I've not seen a golden, apart from the T50, the 59G. I've not seen a gold tank. I've not seen gold camouflage.
I have no idea what's going on with this.
Have you got one? Have you got a golden tank?
Well, when I play my Sheriff account, it has a specific camo on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm looking at this, and I didn't realize this, but it shows it going through December 31st, 2025.
Yeah.
2025.
That's
So we can start the rumor that the game is planning on lasting until 2025, and then it's over.
Ooh. Yeah.
All right, tournament missions.
It says camouflage, golden. Camouflage golden.
Yeah. Camouflage color golden, yeah. So it's not the target, apparently. I don't know what's going on with that.
It's the actual camo on the tank.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening with that. Tournament missions, Cosmic Challenge. I actually downloaded that game and I started playing it. Have you done that? No.
No, I'm coping with Orion, Masters of Orion at the moment.
That's what I'm saying, Masters of Orion. Did you?
Is that what it is? I'm doing it. Yeah, it's cool. People have knocked it and said, well, it's not very good. But I quite like it. It's quite relaxing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Being attacked by all the aliens, that's fun.
I just barely started the tutorial, so I haven't got very far, but I'll go back to it. I'll do a video on it here in the near future. Battle of Berlin, 75th anniversary. This is the 25,000 experience, and you got your GLD. Thank goodness I have another GLD. I wonder how many of those I have.
I can't sell them. I just want to collect them, really.
So Brawl is up. There, at least there's some bonds involved and some credits. Yeah. So, and it's not too hard actually. You got to be top 3. What is it? You got to be top 3 and top 5
Top 5, top 3.
Yeah. And you get 75 bonds and 400,000 silver and some, get a token, which I don't know what you need that for.
Iron seal token.
What is that for?
I don't know. This is so much.
Wait a minute. Why do I need a token? Collect tokens, and then I don't understand that. Oh, I see. It's the way they build these missions. I think what's happening here is if you get in the top 5, you get a token, and the token opens up the top 3. So okay. I guess my question is, if I get top 3, I think I get credit for both?
So right, so it's working in tandem.
Yeah, and I think the way they do these missions, the token opens up the other one, and it's in sequence.
This is all tier 10, though, isn't it, Brawl?
It is all tier 10, Brawl. Yeah. I played one game, and I won't be going back. I don't know, man. It's a pub match 7v7, and the problem with that is if your team doesn't all stick together, you get wiped out. And I knew I saw it since it was Ensk. It was Ensk, and we get in there, and my team scatters, and I'm thinking, oh well, this is over.
Yeah.
And here comes their whole team. It's an encounter mode. Their whole team came down the track side, the other side, field side, gobbled up the 3 tanks that were there, and then killed the rest of them.
Did you see a lot of reward tanks on that?
I did not. In fact, I think there was only one in the game I was in. There was a chieftain, I want to say. I played a mouse, which, whatever, maybe part of my problem was playing a bad tank, but a mouse and Ensk.
It's a good tank.
A mouse and Ensk should be pretty good, and I did okay damage-wise, but when I got swarmed by 4 tanks after they killed 3 guys who were separated, and it was pretty much all over. So there you go. What were we going to look at in the... I want to know how many GLDs I have. Hold on, let's find out. How many GLDs do I have? That's a bounty. Gun laying drive. I have... Well, I've only got 4 in the depot, so I'm running low. I'm glad they're giving me some more.
I'll tell you now. Hang on. Wow. Oh crikey! I've got 7.
You've got 7. Outstanding. I guess really, if you don't use them, I complain about them. If you don't use them, you can sell them for 250,000 silver.
Yeah,
so maybe at the end of the day, don't look a gift horse in the mouth on that one, man.
No.
Whatever the heck.
It's like anything else, isn't it? It's personal preference, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, some people use them for TDs, for casemates, things like that. Stuff that doesn't move around very much. That kind of stuff. All right, cool. That's the missions and specials. Let's get on to subjects du jour. Subjects du jour. So, we're kind of like, we were talking about this the other day, we're kind of like those Muppet Show guys, aren't we? What are those guys' names?
Statler and, I can't remember the other guy's name. Statler? I don't know.
Just sitting up in the balcony. Just sitting up in the balcony yelling at World of Tanks from above. You're terrible.
Gun laying drives. What are they?
Yeah.
Who are they for?
Yeah. Meanwhile, people are selling them for 250,000 silver and making bank. Looking at us. Going,
thanks for the credits.
What are you talking about?
Waldorf, Statler and Waldorf. That's who it is. Yeah, Waldorf.
That's it.
We've got to let the community decide who's who. Who's Statler and who's Waldorf.
Yeah.
And then we have to grow our hair to match. Okay. Well, I can't grow any hair.
Talk about growing hair, man. I haven't had a haircut for like 2 months. I am getting shaggy. I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, someone will have to tell us whether who's Statler and who's Waldorf.
Yeah.
I got
community can do that, eh? Yeah, absolutely.
I got a friend that tells me I look like Eddie the Eagle.
Right. You need these. You need these if you're going to do Eddie the Eagle. Look at this. Big glasses.
Oh, man. All right. Did you have some quotes or something? Did we talk about that?
Right, yeah. Well, here we go. This is, thank you for the opportunity to provide some Pilgrim quotes, which are technically conversions of real-time quotes of real people. So there's a guy called Andy Grove who's a Hungarian businessman. You can Google him. He does a few quotes about the American culture. which is and it's all in the best possible taste. Okay, so there's no giving you guys a hard time.
I'm bracing myself.
Yeah, one of the quotes he come up with was that. Let me quote him word for word. I've got it written down. I don't do tech. Most Americans probably aren't aware that there was a time in your country when tanks and cavalry were massed on Pennsylvania Avenue to chase away the unemployed. Now that's his quote. I've actually put a Pilgrim twist to it. Most Americans probably aren't aware that there was a time in your country when tanks and cavalry were massed on Pennsylvania Avenue to chase away the artillery players.
I think that was after World War II with World War I, with the World War I veterans who were marching on Washington for their benefits. I believe that's what that was, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's these little snippets of facts that you sort of go, wow, didn't know that. That was interesting, you know. There is another one. I'll give you another one, and then we'll save some for another day. Okay. This is well, I guess we'll do this. There's a German general, Heinz Guderian. I might have said that wrong with a French accent. Guderian, yeah, a German World War II general and tank commander. So it's quite relevant. His a very short quote. He said, "If the tanks succeed, then victory follows." Well, Pilgrim's take on that is, if the heavy tanks succeed, then the TDs and the other flank will definitely fail. Because that's what happens every time. We'll save some of them.
Translated to World of Tanks. That's awesome. Yeah. All right.
So cool.
So you have
credits to the guys who do the quoting.
Yeah. All right. So you've played a bit of, and you have some thoughts on tier 2 through 6 on EU. You said you made a specific attempt to no kidding play quite a bit of tier 2 to 6. So the question that's been given to me several times, and I still don't have a great answer, maybe we can start to come to a bit of a conclusion here, is that the increase in hit points at tier 2 to 6, how is that affecting tier 2 to 6? My take is I think tier 7 is going to be really interesting since they see 5s and 6s who now have more hit points. But really, the other question is tier 2 to 6 itself. How is that affecting it? And you have some thoughts, Pilgrim, from your experience.
I do. I specifically spent a couple of days on the EU account just running 2s to 6, just to get a feel for what the difference now is. It is a longer battle. It is a more sustained battle now.
So in that respect, mission accomplished, because that's what they said they were trying to do.
Absolutely, okay. Absolutely. Where you could take out an enemy tank, 3 shells, done, move on. It's starting to take 5 or 6 shells now to take those tanks out.
Right.
Again, you're surviving longer as well. For example, on the tier 3, you've got the PZ, you've got the SEAL Club on the PZ premium tank. Yeah. And that would take out a Type 91 3 shots previously. Now it's taken a lot longer to do that. And even though you've got a huge increase of ammunition rack, it's gone up to something like 95 rounds, or 180 rounds in total. I know, crazy. And also, you still get at that level people just bombing out and just being, complete YOLO. You still get that.
Right.
But if you play with any form of sensibility, the game has got longevity now. Each battle has a little bit more about it. There has been some significant, I wouldn't call it a nerf, but changes to some of the tanks. The PZIC, I think it's called, or the PZ1C.
Yeah.
And we'll go back to your making aeroplane gun noises and that.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Where it used to go brrr, it now goes pop, 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 like the 30 mil.
Right.
Or like the .50. So you get that pump, 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 pump. So you have to actually aim and fire with that tank now, as opposed to just, lock on and just let go.
Because you're going to need a few more hits to take people on. All right, well, that's
I think they've achieved, mission achieved, as you said. I think when we come to tier 7, I haven't played tier 7 to see that, but I did see some tier 7s in there when I was playing it, and it's an absolute damage farmer. Damage farmer.
Yeah. That's kind of what it's now. I think the stats are going to get lost in the noise of so many stats over time that it's not going to. Yeah. It's not necessarily, you're not going to see a big jump in the overalls. Maybe if you pay attention to recents, your tier 7s might be having a higher DPM or DPG. Sorry, damage per
DPG,
game.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens, and I don't think that it met. I guess my point with some of it is it might make some of your tier 7s more viable in some of the missions where you need damage and some kills and some other things. Yeah. Maybe not kills because they're not more tanks, but damage specifically. Yeah. And maybe experience. That's the other thing. Because there'll be more damage, unless they've changed that experience model for tier 7 so that you don't get more experience for more damage. That would require a lot of forethought, I think, on Wargaming's part that I'm not sure they have. So that's probably a non-starter. But anyway, is any of it game-changing necessarily? Not in the sense of stats and missions, but game-changing, yes. And from what you just said, that yes, you last longer at lower tiers, and that's going to help people hopefully enjoy the game a little more and learn a little bit more
and get better. Because if you spend the first 4 tiers just going hell for leather for the enemy and doing, if you have to pull back a bit and go, okay, I need to think about this. So your skill level automatically starts to get better.
Yeah. So and this is going to go a little bit to discussing the Q&A, but in my mind that's kind of an interesting thing, and it kind of speaks to their inability to really see what some of the big problems of their game is. And I'll give you my specific example. They said we want people to last longer so they can learn the game. That's a good thing on the surface. That's a one level deep idea. Got it. So they increase hit points, give some more ammo, and people last longer. What is still happening in that time frame of playing the game is that the accuracy RNG is frustrating the crap out of people still.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, and I've had a couple discussions with CCs lately, and specifically the one who really got me thinking about this, and I already had this idea, but it became more crystal clear when I was talking to Sophie, and her biggest thing she dislikes is the accuracy RNG. I like the RNG in the game. I like the idea of modeling dispersion because that is a realistic thing. I like that it gives a range of things that can happen, because once those range of things happen, it cascades to other things and it makes a more dynamic game. It really does. But in the case of accuracy, it's frustrating, and that's why my discussion with Sophie was so good, because we really started talking about, one of the biggest things that stops people from sticking around with this game is they get frustrated for lots of reasons. And one of the big reasons they get frustrated is the RNG accuracy part, where you shoot and the tank is nearly filled in the dispersion circle and it goes over here.
What's that all about? It's like this, isn't it?
So now you go, okay, so we've increased the amount of time people are able to survive at tier 2 to 6. The frustration of the accuracy is now longer. It becomes more obvious. I think when you're raging through in lower tiers, when you're dying fast, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
You miss you do not see what the accuracy frustration is because you're dead so fast you don't have time to really see it. It's not till you get to mid to high tiers that very good players go and they start lasting longer. They learn the game a little bit. They learn how to maintain hit points, maintain their vote, keep playing. And you get to that mid to higher tier, and there's a lot of players who come in and they get there and they go, this accuracy thing, I cannot get past it. It was covered by the noise of low level where I died fast. But now that I last longer, so now I'm thinking you're taking that frustration that they see at a mid to higher tier and you're moving it down to a lower tier. So now you got a tier 3 or 4 player going, good Lord, do these things ever hit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good point. I think there's a lot of soft stat stuff that will come out of all of this. And again, we know that Wargaming collect data like a data machine. They drag it all in. So I'm assuming that somebody is overseeing this and just seeing how much changes are to the player base and how they're reacting to the whole thing. You would hope so, because I do think there will be some implications that will bleed over into the higher tiers from having that sort of play style further down the tiers.
Yeah. You would hope so.
You would hope so. Well, maybe. Maybe, I don't know.
So I wanted to touch on something else. We'll just let that lie for a second because we're going to come back to it a little bit with the Q&A. And I've got my Chrome browser back up here, and we're going to go over to the Armored Patrol. All right, guys. So TAP has an article out. Let's see if it's still there, actually. Yes, it is. All right. World of Tanks NA, 25 April 2020 with Andre and Maxim. All right, so this happened on NA, and it was with 13 Disciple. It was with Cody Menz and Nick Shocks. Those are 3 community contributors. Cabbage Mechanic was the moderator, and then you had 2 developers from the homeland. Good on them coming. And so the community contributors brought questions, and it was a great discussion. We're going to go over some of those answers and things here in a minute. My point on this part, however, is on the Armored Patrol, who I have actually talked up a little bit because it's a blog that has a lot of information about World of Tanks. They have a textual write-up, and I found this and I went, oh, great, here's the information I needed. Well, here's the problem with this, folks. This is directly lifted from Cody Menz's blog. Cody was in the thing and sat there for 2 hours typing this up. And then he formatted it, and then he put it on his blog. And these guys lift it from Cody Menz's blog and put it on their blog, and which is not necessarily wrong, especially if you attribute it. And oh, by the way, it's not attributed until you scroll all the way to the bottom, and you find. Well, let's go to continue reading because I got to get to the bottom of the actual thing. Look at all this work Cody did. You come down to the bottom, and you find. Oh, is it gone?
No, they put it back up top.
Is it back up top now? No,
yeah, they've moved it back.
No, that's a YouTube. That's a link.
Oh, no. Yeah. Sorry, that's
a link that goes to the YouTube video, which is where this all came from. Did they actually remove the link to Cody's page? Did they vindictively? Hold on a minute. Wow.
I can't find it.
Okay. Oh man, it's gone. I don't see the link anymore. It was there yesterday.
So there's no accreditation to Cody.
There's no accreditation to Cody. I bet they got wind that people were irritated, and then they vindictively removed it. Now that's a rumor, right? That's an unfounded accusation. But I do not see the link. Am I missing something?
Well, I'm on the same site, and I've been up and down. I've gone to the main site as well.
That is
still not there.
So anyway, guys, if we go, like I said, I just showed you that. I'm going to get a different page up here, a different tab, and we'll go to Cody Menz's. I should have been prepared for this. I got to find it. Just believe
we'll talk about the 7Ps later.
Yeah. Watt Guru. Where is he? All right, hold on. This is terrible. All right, Watt Guru home. We go over to Cody's page here, and this is his dev Q&A right here. So we'll just go ahead and click on that, and we'll go to wheeled tanks rebalance, going to start with increasing effect. We come over here, we go to the top. Wheeled vehicles will be... Oh, wait, did they change some of the wording? I think they changed some of the wording. This is fantastic. You cannot make this up. Going to start with increasing effect on damaging wheels. Will start from increasing. They've changed
the wording. They've used the word destroying, damaging. Okay.
Oh my God, this is pathetic. So instead of going, you know what, this is from Cody. Here's the attribution. They've gone in and changed the words around a little bit. Let's find out. So fire mechanics. Does a fire go out faster if a tank is stationary? What did Cody say? Fire mechanics. Does a tank on fire go out faster if you aren't moving?
It's nothing like it. It's not the same. That's my argument.
Oh, you jackwagons. How pathetic. That is amazing. That is absolutely...
that is bad, isn't it?
That is light years worse than it was.
Wow.
It was just kind of cheesy before. Yeah. Now you're a jackwagon.
Yeah, it smells of tuna. It smells fishy.
God, this is fantastic. I cannot wait to get this into the rest of the CCs to see this. Oh, man. Here's another thing that's great. On Cody's page, it says World of Tanks NA Live Developer Q&A with Cody Menz, 13 Disciple, Nick Shocks. Cody gives some credit to the other CCs. These jackwagons don't mention... They don't even talk about the NA CCs, these a-holes. They just have Andrei and Maxim Chuvalov's names up on there. And it's as if these CCs don't exist. And then they take Cody's write-up, they change some words around because they got busted yesterday.
Yep.
Pathetic.
Isn't it just?
That's so great. Y'all are crap, man. That's just you're bad. You're just bad.
Well, yeah, exactly.
All right. Man, I'm so glad we looked at that because that was definitely worth a laugh. Holy cow. All right, man. So let's see. We're actually going to use Cody's write-up for this to talk about this. Yeah. All right. Now, hold on because we're going to take a break because Guido has to go make a cup of coffee. Well, all right, guys. Welcome back. I need a commercial to put in there, actually. I need a commercial.
Okay.
What I should do, I think next week, or I might just make it a separate video. I have this is completely not what you and I were just talking about, we're going to talk about, but I have some brand new intros that Anonymous Apostle is making for me. So you know the guy who did the coffee talk and the intro that I have? Excuse me.
Yep.
He's making some specifically for Tactics Talk, Coffee Talk.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Miserable Monday, and I think Replay Analysis, a couple others, with a thumbnail that goes with it. But he's actually doing intro videos for each one of them, which are really fantastically cool. So I'm going to debut those here in the near future. That was just something random that just came out.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah.
Came out of my brain skull, my brain pan. All right. I'm just laughing about what we were talking about. I know that's probably one of the worst things you can do is come on live and go, yeah. We're laughing at this great joke that we're not going to tell you.
But we're not sharing. Oh, dear.
Yeah, you bunch of plebs.
You need to edit that one.
All right. We're going to use Cody's. Let's just recap from last time. What went down right there? In order to beat the dead horse, just because I'm so irritated at the malfeasance there, the plagiarism, the journalistic malpractice that just went down there. Nick, Cody, and 13 Disciple have a Q&A with Cabbage Mechanic and two of the developers. What was it, Andre and Maxime or whatever it was? Good on him. Thank you. Yeah. Cody spends the whole time asking questions and writing it down. Cody spends a couple hours afterwards formatting it and tidying it up. He has written an article about something he was involved in. Yep. He posts it on his blog. It's his intellectual property. And I realize that's not necessarily it, but it is as if he has written an article like any journalist would. These guys at TAP lift it whole, put it on their page, put a small, tiny link at the bottom of the article instead of attributing it to Cody at the top. Obviously, they took some heat for it. They get rid of the link and any mention of Cody. They change some happies to glads, and now they're acting like it's their article. Is that basically the The timeline.
I think you've hit the nail right on the head there, buddy.
That's amazing. All right, so we'll just kick the dead horse as we leave, and we'll go on from there. So using Cody's correct and original article. By the way, Cody Men's page, Watt Guru, has some great info, folks. Some good info. If you want to get better at the game, he can help. All right, so I watched this. Did you watch all of it? I didn't watch all of it, but I watched a good portion of it.
No, I got about halfway through, I think, to the point where it started just to become a bit corporate, and I was like, okay.
And I've read all of this from Cody as well, and it sums it up. There are obviously more words in the video than what Cody has here, but it's a good summation from him on what they talked about. Overall impressions for me: number one, thank you for doing it, Wargaming. Number two, what Pilgrim just said, there was a lot of very specific and structured messaging going on. There was nobody went off on any tangents. Nobody gave any real information that we haven't heard, other than maybe some information on upcoming stuff, just kind of explaining some things. But as far as the big questions that were asked, I didn't find anything really new in there. What do you think, Pilgrim? Is that kind of what you saw?
I think, exactly that. I think there was specific questions asked that were very vaguely answered, very vaguely sort of sketchy, corporate. This is this is the big picture type answer.
All right, so we'll just start from the top. We won't necessarily go through all of this, but wheel tanks rebalance. They are talking about that. That was one of the things I did appreciate. They seem to be aware. There was a discussion about the wheels and how they work as spaced armor. There was it's not in here actually, but there was a ridiculous discussion about how the metal wheels are actually really thick and strong.
As opposed to rubber.
Yeah. I think his point was, well, it is spaced armor and those wheels are very thick. So, that's what would happen. Like, okay, yes and no. If a round hit that thing, it's also going to bend the snot out of axles. And, there's other things going on here when it hits a wheel. That's not all modeled in the game. I got it. But the idea that the answer can be, to me, was kind of flippant. Well, they're very thick, so it's armor, so deal with it. That was kind of what I got out of it. And maybe I'm just irritated because of the answer, but I don't know. So I think what they're looking at is slowing them down more when they get hit.
Yeah.
I like the other question that's out there, and I can't take credit for this. I never really thought about it, and I've been bitching about attribution. I can't remember who told me, whether it was, I don't know if it was Nick. It might have been Nick Shocks. It was one of the other CCs was saying, how come you don't get any, when you slow down one of these things, how come you don't get any assist?
Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, that was brought out a couple of weeks ago. I remember that, yeah.
I think that's a fantastic question, and it should be part of it. So, yes, they should slow down more, and you should get some more assist. I feel like their magic aiming and the auto aim plus they get that no one else gets also needs to be changed, but that's my opinion. There was a question about fire mechanics. That was funny. Does a tank go on fire? Does the fire go out faster or slower when you stop or move or whatever? They're like, no. If that ever was a thing, it's not now. Here's my and I think the biggest one really for discussion point for you and me is balancing the game. Why does it take so long to rebalance overperforming tanks? And there was a very long discussion about how they do it that didn't really answer the question. So he talked about it's a 1 or 2 quarter thing. Holy cow, guys. If you're iterative in this day and age of software development and international business, if your iterative process is 3 to 6 months, are you actually kidding me now? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That is crazy talk. Now, you and I discussed this a little bit. If we're talking about a standard tank that's slightly overpowered, where if you just come in with the cudgel and start smashing things, you may not have the whole data. That's an entirely rational and reasonable way to go after it.
Yeah.
But I believe, and I think it was Nick who brought this up, he talked about the Type 4 and Type 5 and the 268 version 4 that were very obviously a problem from the very beginning. In the 268 version 4, people said at the beginning, looking at the stats, they went, whoa, seriously, you can't put that in the game, and it turned out to be the truth. Sometimes we get that wrong. I've gone over this a lot with the British light tanks, but I think we can all agree that when we saw the 268 version 4, and then when it started being played, it was so patently obvious to everybody that that thing needed a nerf. Why it then had to be shoehorned into this 1 to 2 quarter system that they have, that's insane.
Yeah, I think you're quite right. I think we talked about this. What you do is you if you've got that sort of problem, is that you need 3 to 6 months to make minor changes. They're not significant changes to it. Minor changes. Then maybe you should then modularize what you're doing as a big company. I get it. It's a big company. But maybe you should have a team who works specifically on that. And it does not take 3 to 6 months to look at the data, to look at the stats, to look at the feedback and go, because those sort of OP tanks stand out a mile above everything else.
Yeah.
You only have to play, 10 games using it and go, crikey, what have we done here?
Yeah, and the whole community was in an uproar about it. There wasn't anyone who was a serious person that said, oh, this is a balanced tank. The only people that said it was balanced are people who loved smashing people with it and didn't want it changed.
Yeah.
And I understand that's a one-off. That's kind of a one-off. There have been several examples like that.
Yeah.
But that was really the question. Why does it take so long to rebalance overperforming tanks? And they kind of dodged it by going, well, here's our process. And I'm like, well, I got it. Good. You have a process. That's a good thing. You don't go willy-nilly changing things. That's a good thing. They brought up the whole, the early adopters are usually good players, and that skews the data, so we have to wait for time and blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever, got it. But in the specific case of a couple of these things, it took too long.
Yeah.
Right? And there was no acknowledgement of, maybe, in a couple cases we could have moved quicker. They just said, nope, that's the process. And that's what we're going to do.
It seems a very static way of having a process.
Yeah.
Processes are there. I get it. We use processes in the workplace all day long, don't we?
Yeah.
And they're there to be able to give a structure to be able to get a job done. But there should be flexibility with that process. You should be able to take that process and go, how can we refine this to make it better, quicker?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
And they nerfed the Barask. They gave it to us, gave it to the CCs with a much shorter clip reload.
Yeah.
And then right before, or maybe right after they started selling it, I can't remember the timing, they nerfed it.
Yeah.
So actually,
they can do that.
It can be done. Yeah. What the?
Yeah. So what's all that about? 3 to 6 months? Behave yourself.
Wait a minute. It's possible.
Maybe it's one department covered the Brock, and there's another department that covers the Type 4 or 5 heavy, and another department. No, it won't.
Here's my unsubstantiated idea, unsubstantiated theory, or whatever. It was somebody's pet, and they blocked anything from happening to it for
possibly.
Whatever time. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Really, well, let's deep dive it. So, to me, there's only two possibilities, Pilgrim. Number one, somebody's pet. Number two, incompetence. What else can there be?
Well, there can't be anything else because they've proven a point that they can do it when they needed to do it quickly.
Right.
Your example there proves the point. So, yeah, possibly. There's only the two options. I do know that mindset within, within that area is very much the boss dictates, and it filters down.
That's what it feels like. There is a director of balance, and he shall be the god of all balance.
Yeah. That's the way it goes.
But
I don't think there's a lot of say further down the chain.
Yeah, which is from a chain of command standpoint, you've got to have that because there has to be somebody where the buck stops. But at the same time, it just there's been so many little failures to mitigate problems like that It goes back to what I was talking about earlier with this game. It's the frustration thing that gets most people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most people leave this game because they're frustrated. They're getting dumped on by Arter. They're frustrated by RNG. They're frustrated by overpowered tanks. They're frustrated that Tier 10 is covered in overpowered Tier 10 tanks. You know, they buffed the 279 early right before it got, or right before or after it got released.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did a little buff
that.
to it. Yeah. Holy cow. All right, so that's the balancing thing, which was disappointing to me, to just be lectured on what their system is, when the real question was, how come your system does not iteratively fix obvious problems? And that was just ignored. Collectors' vehicles, they talked about that. They talked a bit about sandbox testing and ammo changes. And it came down to, the first sentence was pretty close to what the gist of it was. It's really complicated. My problem with them on this is they're making it complicated. Yeah. Your ammo, my opinion on that has always been, your problem with your ammo issue vis-a-vis premium is that the difference between the pens from premium to standard ammo is wildly different.
Too much.
You are simply not going to, not true. You are going to make it much more difficult to balance armor to pen when the same gun can fire such wildly different penetrating ammo.
Yeah.
So take that difference and bring it down.
Yeah.
And I think you make a lot of your problems go away right there. You may have to adjust ammo or adjust armor along the way. You may have to adjust.
Not necessarily across the whole range of the tanks.
No.
You know, absolutely. You know, you're quite right. Bring the difference down.
Yeah.
To the point that there may be some turrets that might need to be looked at. If you know.
Yeah.
I think, you're quite right. I think that if the difference was significantly less, you would still have people buying the premium ammunition, the special ammunition, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
So it's still an income stream for the game. But you won't have this huge disparity between the two. And you won't have the all singing, all dancing, I don't even need to aim, I can just throw that at you.
I think one of the reasons they may not do that is it's a pretty daunting task. If you start talking about, to me that's obviously the answer, but the follow-on secondary and tertiary issues with that is dealing with the armor, like we're just talking about. Yeah. There's a lot of tanks in the game, so that may just be a bridge too far, right? We're just never going to get there because they don't have the time or wherewithal to do it. So,
well, I guess you'd have to remodel almost every tank.
Right.
I guess.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Or at least a significant number of them, which, again, could take a lot of time. Yeah. Let's see. Consider changing shell speed normalization RNG for specific shells. They're not trying to change them. We want 3 shells to have all different reasons to use. All right. This one drives me crazy, and they keep saying it. And I would have loved to have been there and followed up with it, because what in the F do they think people are using the shells for now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't want to make it more complicated by changing things such as RNG, normalization, etc. Wow. That goes back to my thing of your accuracy RNG should be 15%.
Yeah.
Leave everything else 25 so you get those different swings and interesting things that happen in the game. I got it.
Yeah.
But accuracy, you could even maybe leave the pen thing to 25%. But the accuracy of actually hitting where you're aiming should be, sorry, I said 15, I meant 25. Your accuracy should be plus or minus about 15. Just move it down to 20 for a while and see what people think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't see how that could be that big of a deal. Do a month test. Change your accuracy RNG to 20% for a month. Advertisers go, hey, we're going to check this out. Everybody play.
On selected tanks, even.
Well,
not across the range. Would you do it across the range?
Oh yeah, because everybody would play those tanks. You want your whole game to be tested with plus or minus 20% RNG and see what happens.
And I tell you what, put it on something like Frontline. Don't do it across the board. Select Frontline, perhaps, or something like that, a particular game mode. Do it and see what the data comes back out of that particular. So data capture on Frontline can't be that difficult because it's a separate game mode.
I would do it in standards, man. I wouldn't even do it on front. I would just do it in pubs and let everybody play for a month with plus or minus 20 accuracy. That's the only change in the entire thing.
See what comes out of it.
See what happens. See if people go, wow, cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. as far as drawing people back who left because of the RNG, I don't think you could come up with a better one to at least draw them back to take a look again.
Yeah.
And you have to advertise. Look, this is a specific 1 month test, just accuracy. We're going to drop it to plus or minus 20%. We want to get data. Noted. Good. Yeah. And come check out the game and see what it's like at plus or minus 20. And if it's,
you know what?
Yeah.
You're talking logic.
Oh well, yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yeah. I guess I wonder if maybe it's so fundamental to the rest of the engine that it's simply not a possibility to change that number. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what you see. You'd have to go really into the coding to see how all that affects everything else.
I think the RNG thing is like the captain of a ship. He's going down with the ship no matter what happens. You know what I mean? So plus or minus 25 is sinking with the ship, baby. We're not changing that. The band is playing on.
What iceberg? That big thing right in front of me called RNG. Oh, really?
They talk about maps. I haven't had a real problem with map rotation as far as seeing the same map. It happens occasionally, especially if you're running Encounter and Assault. You can see the air quotes same map, but it's a different version of the map. So that happens, but it's not too bad. Shell rebalance. Why do premium ship? They got into the cost a bit. I guess because I'm so far into the game and I have so many credits and I'm a CC and I get stuff that I don't see the cost of shells. I also don't play a lot of tier 10 because I don't like it that much. It's not that compelling. But some people who play a lot of tier 10 are a bit irritated by shell cost. That goes back, though, to premium rounds and what the problem with them is. So that question I didn't care too much about, really.
No.
But they got into it. It is, I think, though, part of their marketing calculation at monetization based on how they think that affects people buying premium and other things. So it's obviously part of the whole deal.
Well, I think they shoot themselves in the foot slightly because if you can't afford to buy premium, you have to use more normal rounds to do the same amount of damage.
Yeah.
So you're still having to draw in credits. You're still having to input into the game to get those credits to pay for those rounds.
Right.
Either way, So I don't know. I think coming back to what you said, if they reduced the gap between the two, they would probably find an increase, not a significant increase, but an increase in income stream.
Yeah, maybe.
Because people will be more keen to try to buy them, I guess.
Yeah, if they decrease the price, yeah.
So
the next question was interesting to me. It touches on another thing that drives me crazy that they keep saying, and I don't know what the hell they mean. Leo 1 STB1 changes received well, yes. How about changes to the 50M, 30B, T62? What about the Object 430U nerfs? The Object 430U nerfs were funny. There was a hue and cry. Everyone in the RU got their pitchfork and torch, and they backed off. So who knows what's... I don't even think they answered that, as I recall. So the answer is basically this idea. Andre says, we want to find a niche for every tank. Yes, we do have plans for tanks to find a niche for them. What the heck does that mean? That's never... They never describe or tell you what that means, right?
No.
They never define this niche. No. They're always telling us that each tank, they want it to have a specific play style and niche, but it's never defined. They're mediums. They're tier 10 mediums. Their niche
that's the point I was going to make.
Mediums.
You've got classes. So isn't that the niche? You're a medium, a heavy, or a light, or a TD, or an arty. What more do you want?
I don't understand that. And I think it vaguely breaks down into it's a sniper, it's a brawler, it's a vision. You know what I mean?
I suppose when you start,
But those are all, to me, more tactics you use in specific situations than tanks. Yeah. Yes, some do better at sniping or brawling or whatever, but that doesn't make it a sniper or brawler. You play the tank to the situation. You go to war with the army you have, so you play the tank to the situation you have. And yes, it may have strengths in certain areas, but going out and saying, well, I'm a sniper, I only hide in the back, I don't know. You may need to do something different. But my problem with that whole thing is it's never defined. It's not necessarily that they're trying to do it. They always say it, and they never define it. That's what I don't understand.
No.
T110 is getting rebalance. This one was weird. I can't remember what he was talking. Oh, remove the cupola. There we go.
Yeah.
So he says, no, we are not, since that is how the tank looked like. Yes, but yes, it looked like that. But if people shot the cupola over and over, could they kill everybody and destroy the tank? I don't think so.
If you want realism, make it real. But don't fall on the side of, well, that's what it looked like. So yeah, but it's a weak point. You've made it a weak point.
Right. So armor it up a little bit.
You made it a destroyer of that tank. No.
Sorry, realism. It's what it looked like. Oh, okay. I guess the E25 was,
75.
It was tiny. It was 75% of the size it really was. That's real.
Yes, and they only had Englishmen who were smaller than 5 foot. Actually, Germans, not English.
Yeah, little tiny guys, little
tiny Germans used to run around inside.
And what's also real is when a wheel tank pulls a 95G turn and doesn't slide out.
Absolutely, that happens all the time.
That is so real.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh dear. You won't get any money off wargaming this month.
No, my shilling is failing miserably.
Mm-hmm.
Failing miserably. Has to be said, I love the game, but let's move on.
While
we bash. A lot of players agree.
That's why we do it. We love the game, we do.
That's true. And you love tea. Cheers.
Cheers. All the best. Chin chin.
Chin chin. All right. Tick tick. A lot of players agree that both the Chieftain and the 279 influenced Tier 10 matches far more. By the way, total tangent. There's a video that Des Games just put out with a 279 early. I want to say it got 20,000 blocking damage or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Check it out. Everybody check it out. It's on Des Games. Des Games put it out. He's got some great sarcasm going about the tank. This is a total tangent. His sarcasm is that Artie's in the game to counter the 279 early, and Wargaming was so prescient about the future that they put it in 8 years ago just to counter the 279. That's great.
That's exactly what it's for.
Yeah. All right. So because it was a non-Artie game, and this thing it's ridiculous. Go check the video out. It's stupid. It proves how dumb the tank is. All right. So they influence Tier 10 far more than other tanks. We see the proof in that many competitive Tier 10 battles feature almost entirely these two tanks. Okay, so Andre says, for those, he specially had a call meeting about that today to make a speculated answer on how we will deal with these tanks. All right, so they're talking about it.
Mm.
Matchmaking changes. Nope. There's nothing in here about nerfing it. They're not going to nerf. They're not going to nerf the prize tanks. They're going to change the matchmaker. They're going to maybe ban them from ranked, which makes you wonder why you want one. And then, it's incredible. What? This goes back to the discussion about balance and how long it takes and what the F are you doing? Hey, remember that 3 to 6 month process you have, guys? Remember that? How long have these tanks been out? Can you maybe update us on how your vaunted
process
balance process is working here? I don't know if you've looked at the numbers, but maybe you might want to notice they're at the top of every. I don't know.
But then we can only surmise that really because we don't have the data. But you can guarantee that they have that data, and it says exactly that.
Well, here's the rub, and here's the last sentence, the last little paragraph. Players that get them take a ton of effort to get them. Some do. All right. First of all, a lot of people have rigged for the 279 early, but that's fine. We'll just let that go. We don't want to piss people off that earned them. But we're just fine with pissing everyone else off. Right? Everyone else who fights them, you can be angry. We don't care. We're just glad that these few players who got these tanks are happy with them. Well, hell, I'd be happy with them too. They stomp on everything in sight. Don't want to start by nerfing them without possibly nerfing plus buffing them to rebalance. Are you actually kidding me? No on a straight out nerf. So there you go, from the horse's mouth. We are not going to do anything about obviously overpowered tier 10 tanks, except maybe look at some stuff we'll never do. That's the trend. You have to be kidding me. All right.
Yeah. Where'd you go with that? I don't know.
They did talk a little bit about having some clan wars with the different tiers for different provinces or nations or whatever. I think that's an interesting idea. I would definitely support that.
Yeah.
It would be cool to have clan wars be a more tiered thing where some of the earlier places where you land are at lower tiers, and then some smaller clans could maybe hold at little smaller provinces. It all really devolves down into a big diplomacy battle anyway. So once everyone figures out however that particular version of Clan Wars is going, that's where it almost always goes. But it could be an interesting thing to let some people, and it lets you maybe play tier 8s in a Clan War, so why not? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they've got a tier spread for skirmishes, so why not? You've got 6, 8, and 10, haven't you?
So they got 7v7 or 9v9 Clan Wars. They have different ideas. They said they want to include smaller clans. That's what I was just talking about. Move it towards line of Crusader Kings, adding in politics. Okay. My idea for that is really, I think, a bigger campaign idea of where you have to build the tanks. You have to have industry points or whatever, and you can build certain tanks. And if you unlock different tanks, you can have that tank and tiers. But that's a more complicated thing, obviously.
Yeah.
They talked about antenna physics and flags and stuff. They're working on that at whatever. Minsk is going to be reworked. That map, I don't particularly care for Minsk very much. I don't know what the rework is, but that could be interesting. We'll see. That whole center area is kind of useless. It really is a canalized map.
Absolutely, it's a two-flank map. It's as simple as that. You can't use the middle. Okay, if you're a light, you can pop onto the bridge maybe and take a risk, and that's about it. You can't do anything else.
And it's not like you're lighting anything for people to shoot in the back. You're just kind of keeping an eye on the middle so they don't somehow sneak through there. But who does? I mean, it's kind of soap rocks. They're talking about that. There was some discussion between. This is technical stuff for them that I don't have any knowledge of, but they have their engine and the Havoc engine, I guess, are somehow kludged together or something. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but anyway, they've always blamed nearly every problem on somebody else, on the third party's software. So it's never their software doing it. It's always the third party, the Havoc engine or something.
I quite like the statement. It says, but it has lower resolution than our own physics engine.
Ours is good, comrade. That's something we always got when I was flying. We'd have you've got the missile made by Raytheon, you've got the jet made by McDonnell Douglas, now Boeing. And if there was some kind of problem between the two, one would tell them, the Raytheon would say, well, that's your fire control system that sucks. And then Boeing would say, McDonnell Douglas / Boeing would say, no, it's your missile that sucks because it's not able to, it was always the other guy's fault that something was going wrong with it. They talked about enlarging small maps, Enskin mines, and they talked about removing some, and then we get the not possible to fix easily. And rework those guys. I don't know why you can't just add another 100 meters to each side of it.
Here's the rub, and I only thought of this last night because I was just going through various things. I thought, I haven't done the training. You can do the training when you first join the game. So I went back and did it. For some reason, it reset itself. So anyway, I went back and did it last night, and they can shrink the maps down and put that red line. So when you're doing your training, you go and you kill all the bots. So if they can shrink the red line down, and the graphics for the maps, as you can see if you zoom out, are never ending these days. Why can't they expand the red line?
Yeah,
because they can shrink it. They must be able to move it the other way as well.
Yeah.
without too much trouble.
I don't know if there's some kind of bizarre hard coding action for their maps that they can't make them bigger. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But
well, they're putting tier 10s on mines. I mean, that is just absolutely incredible. You know.
Well, and that's a change that doesn't have anything to do with changing the map. It just has to do with putting an appropriate tiering on your map, where you don't have tier 10s in a phone booth all trying to fight in the same 100 meters.
In a phone booth.
Yeah. It's like the Captain America scene where he's in the elevator with all those guys, right? That's mines, right? You're like, oh crap. Hey, you spawn in there and they're all around. You're like, oh, shit. All right, so it's not possible to fix easily. Okay. They're talking about Berlin and Pearl River, so that was our discussion earlier. I guess Berlin's on the way, and maybe they're going to unveil it in that PvE thing, so that's pretty cool. Unique audio experience with maps. Any plans to add more sounds for tanks? Is it just me, or are the sounds worse than what they used to be?
No, I think it's just you.
I thought in the past when they made that great big booming sound, instead of that kind of crack, and I get it that the crack is the actual sound, but I don't care. Right?
Yeah.
I want the big ones to go boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things there. They've changed the SU-130 PM sound. I noticed that specifically because I played it a bit.
The gun or the engine?
The gun, and it sounds more like, because it's quite a big caliber, it sounds more like the Death Star boom. Than it did. It sounds like it's caliber now, which is a good thing. It's because I noticed it straight away. I went, "Whoa, that sounds good." The other thing is, if you've ever stood behind a line of tanks and they've fired in real life, you will know what that sounds like. If they could introduce that would be absolutely awesome, because it makes your ears bleed. If you're,
I've never actually been around tanks firing, but I've been in front of artillery going over.
Sure. Yeah, that's a big old noise.
The crack whistle as opposed to the whistle crack. You don't want the whistle crack. The whistle boom. The whistle boom is bad. The boom whistle is fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there is a saying there. If you hear the crack but not the boom, you're dead.
Yeah. All right. So they talked about battle hits being added to the game, armor viewer into the UI. It's because they talked about mods. So they're like, hey, we got mods that do this. How come you don't do it? And then we get this kind of bizarro answer of, hey, sorry, mods aren't as stable as the client, and they take shortcuts. Okay, but they work. So
because people wouldn't load them if they didn't work.
Difficult to add some in. I don't understand what that means. The modder added it in. What? All right. To be fair, they're talking about adding it in as a stable part of their UI, which doesn't have further issues. Okay, I got it. But it's a very dismissive and kind of BS answer while being true at the same time. You can anyway. They're working on adding more mods. Okay, good. That's great, guys. Thank you. Possibly battle hits, but the armor viewer was an interesting thing. So they've tried it 3 times, even though everybody else has done it as a modder. Added a significant problem with the client knowing stuff it shouldn't know.
Can't have that, comrade.
What's it? I'm assuming that means giving up soft stats, either secondarily or by.
Now, isn't that interesting? That's interesting. And when we talk soft stats, it's this secret thing, isn't it? It's this. Mm-hmm. It's this tank has its stats which you can all read, and then there's an underlying something we all should know but we don't.
I mean, that's like conspiracy theory meat just thrown up by him right there, right?
Tin hat.
Yeah, we can get our tin hats up because people are like, "Oh, I told you, secret stuff."
Yeah.
But in actuality, that's true. There is that. We have always known that that's in there. But when I go, okay, armor viewer, giving up things that wouldn't be known. What does that mean? Are some armors actually a different thickness than they are shown as in the? Is there some underlying thing that makes armor a little better? Is that where the magic of the hover medium Russian tank comes from? That's the kind of conspiracy extrapolation that people will now have based on a statement like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
So the sad thing is they've tried to add this 3 times. That it just makes no sense to me. Anyway, obviously more issues in there than I am aware of. I am not their coder, so there you go. I don't know what Frontline. Why is Frontline in there? Redesign them anyway. Whatever. Incorporate every mod. Why don't we just buy the mods from them? That's a great question. We're trying to reinvent them because we can improve them on our own and make them work better. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to call you out on this. You don't. All right, so I'm going to just lay it straight out with you as far as taking mods and making them better. You don't. I'll give you a couple examples. Number 1, there's a carousel mod in XVM. You can have 1 to 4 carousels. What did they give us? Pilgrim. 2. They gave us 2. They didn't give us an option. They didn't say, hey, have 1, 2, 3, or 4. They're like, you can have 1 or 2. That's it. That's good. That's the good stuff right there. No, so I could have 4 on the mod, and when I have a big screen and good resolution, I can do that. Why is that choice not there? Number 2, session stats. Yazin Krasen's is still better than yours.
Yeah.
Why is it that I can only have 7 showing when Yazin Krasen can show me 852,000 stats? Why? That's not better, guys. It's not. It's worse. All right. So you took a mod and you used some of it, and then you're telling me it's better. That's BS. No one's buying it. No one's buying it. They're not.
No. There's a lot of very clever people out there who can do this stuff. So why not recruit a couple of them if they're having problems with their current setup?
I'm super stoked they're putting them in. There's a lot of Creature Comfort UI stuff they've added. I'm very, very happy they've done that. That's awesome. There's a lot of
It's
stuff.
light years away from what it used to be. The information you can now get off the UI is fantastic right now compared to what it was 5 years ago.
But don't sit there and tell me that ours is always better. Come on, man. If yours is always better, why do you keep using their mods?
Why do you allow mods? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's another kind of conspiracy thing. That's one of those things that it is really at the end of the day kind of free R&D for them.
Yeah.
All right, getting towards the end here. Latin American tanks, smaller tanks. Yes, they're talking about that's actually interesting. So the option there now is that they have these collector tanks. Is they can kind of throw in tanks you can unlock that aren't whole lines.
No.
Or you can have little mini lines because of the way they've got it set up now. All right, fair enough. That'd be cool. More content is always a good thing. Twitch Prime. Yes, there are plans to add in more care packages. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So more Twitch swaps. Good on them. Thank you, Wargaming. That's awesome. 10th year anniversary. All right, this is Guido's conspiracy might be coming through. Remember what I talked about with the tickets?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did I say? What did I talk about the tickets?
Well, you said basically, are the coins going to be needed later on in the year for something special? And if that's the case, is it worth us using the coins now to get the little bits and pieces you can buy?
So the answer is still maybe. But look at this, 10th year. August, we are planning something really special and won't spoil it yet. Cosmetics, camouflage, and extra goodies in August, and much more later on for the 10-year celebration. Now, they could have a different kind of currency to get those. It might not be the coins. But this is the kind of thing, because of the lack of information for us, it would be really nice if they just went, look, the coins are worth what we are only for what we've showed you. There's nothing secret coming up.
Yeah.
I would hate to get to August to have spent my coins on a bunch of stuff and then go, holy crap, there's something really cool available for coins and I don't have enough.
Yeah.
They would love it because then they'd sell you some coins.
Yeah. Well, there's the point. There's the point, Guido. They're on sale.
Yeah.
So if they're on sale, and you don't have to do you don't have to do the missions or whatever it is to get them, then there is a selling point to that sale, if you get what I mean. They're on sale because there's something to buy with them.
Yeah. I hope they don't do that. It would cause a massive shitstorm. I have seen nothing in the past that makes me think that's not possible.
No.
Anyway, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
How was
Have faith.
Yeah, yeah. How has the anonymizer been received by Wargaming? We're really happy with how it was implemented, and streamers love it.
Okay, we had this conversation.
I'm going to let it go unless you have something else to say on it. I just find that to be just bizarre.
No.
All right, Battle Pass. Is any chance feature installments? Yeah, they're working on prices. Battle Pass I don't really care about. I'm just going to let that go.
Yeah.
Have you considered adding in premium tanks into the game to purchase with credits as a rental? Yeah, we've got some rentals and things. Italian heavy updates, no more information on those. They did talk about that for a while, but that seems to be a dead letter for the moment.
Yeah.
No updates anyway. I wouldn't call it a dead letter, but there's no updates.
Are we into the game of there's no specific tank out there that isn't already covered? So our Italian heavies, for example, will just be versions of other nations' heavy tanks?
I don't know.
I don't know myself. No.
Yeah, I don't know what Italian heavies there would be. They're obviously going to be napkin tanks. They're not going to be anything that was produced. There may be versions of other people's tanks, like you said. I don't know. Maybe there's an Italian patent out there. Did they ever patent? I don't know if they had patents.
Sure.
Maybe they had Pershings. I have no idea. I assume maybe so. After World War II, we may have sold them some equipment.
Yeah.
Or the Brits, perhaps. Maybe there's an Italian British tank, Centurion or something like that. Don't know. All right.
Don't know.
Cruise system. They did get into that. This is so they've been working on this new cruise system for a long time. And Andre says, small story. We overcomplicated Crew 2.0. A bit on the other stream. Explanation. So to explain it better. It was still confusing to me. We want a skill tree and also one commander per tank. We also want this new commander to drive multiple tanks without having to relearn tanks. Oh my god, what a nightmare. Also want it to be customizable. Counselors, they're still stuck on this counselor thing, like an extra. I don't know what this guy does.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
No.
Add in skill points to specific skills. Will be prominent famous character, such as Santa or someone like a general. I like how Santa gets top billing, but General Patton, a real general, he's like, or General Patton or whatever.
Yeah, that fella.
The Easter Bunny and Santa are, these are counselors, baby. Santa knows a lot about tank.
I think if I was to go to a counsellor and he was dressed as the Easter Bunny, I'd probably walk out of the office and go, do you know what? I don't need counselling, thank you.
Yeah, it depends on if you were...
more than me.
Yeah. I was going to go off on a tangent there. I'm going to let that one
go.
Okay. These counselors will add special points. Multiple builds for the same commander to swap easily. Multiple builds for the same commander. Oh,
see, I don't get that.
Please, just stop. To swap easily so you can customize your tank. All right, so here's how you fix your crew thing. And it's iterative. Number one, streamline some of the crews. There should never be less than 3 guys in a tank, and there should never be more than about 5 guys in a tank. Yeah. So any of the things with 6 guys, even though it's historically accurate, don't care.
Yeah.
Or any of the tanks with 2 guys, there's only 1 as far as I know. Maybe there's a couple lower tiers ones that are like that still.
Okay.
And so you do that. So re-wicker it. That'll take some changes on some tanks. Number 2, go through your skills and get rid of the ones that don't do anything, or change them and add more skills. You're done.
Relevant skills.
Yeah, relevant. Yeah. Tweak the skills. Don't be afraid to nerf a skill that's maybe too good. Yeah. Don't be afraid to add skills in. This is an iterative process. But this is the standard thing that a corporation does when they let stuff go too long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a complete reorganization. You know, every time we got going, we decided to reorganize. That's kind of how it goes. We'll see. He didn't really make it that much simpler for me, to be honest. How will we convert to the new Crew 2.0? We are making sure that it is transferred over properly to compensate everyone. I have 600 tanks, man.
Yeah.
I do not want to have to redo all those crews. I don't have 600 crews. I probably have 400 crews easily, maybe more.
Is that the case that if you no longer have a crew, but you have a commander, all those skills in that particular tank then drop onto the commander?
I assume so.
Or do you have to physically do it?
I think what they're going to do, in my opinion, what they would do is they would take all the experience that crew has and dump it onto that commander, and then you're going to go into their new skill tree and pick and spec your guy how you want. But my problem with that, one of my biggest problems with that is when it first dumps, you're not going to know what the best build is. So if you do a bunch of builds, and all of a sudden it's not the meta, it's not the right build, and now you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
And how the hell are you going to know what the best build is in the first week?
That's an awful lot of digging in, especially like yourself. If you've got 400 crews, you've got to do each individual commander.
And I wouldn't
to a skill set.
I wouldn't sit there on a day and do it all. I would, I would do a couple, play the tanks, and then as I went to a new tank, I'd spec out the crew and the commander or whatever, and go from there. But let's see. Interesting crew fact: only 1,000 people in the world have over 11 perks on one guy. That's crazy.
That is.
Any word on third set of personal missions and campaigns? No, right now. Changes to Artie. Artie changes not before next sandbox. They will be in next round of testing for player base to test out before release. I don't even know what's the point. You know what I mean? They have so many bigger problems than Artie right now. Artie is still annoying. It's not nearly as bad as it used to be.
No.
There's so many other things. But that's it, guys. That was a long drag through the Q&A. I think there was some interesting things in there. I think there was some kind of corporate messaging that was going on that didn't really tell us anything. A couple things I disagree with. A couple very good things that they talked about. So that was good, man. I guess it's time to wrap this up. I'm done talking. I'm out of words, Pilgrim. Do you have any more words?
Oh, I've got questions.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. How it's an American TV question.
Oh, it's more
we'll
TV.
Throw this one in. Okay. It's not a World of Tanks question. It's off at a tangent.
All right.
Hollywood Wives. How on earth can this TV program spawn a British remake of Hollywood Wives and call it Cheshire Wives? If you've been to Cheshire, seriously, you know.
I don't have an answer to that. My wife might, because she watches all those.
Okay, House General's question then, isn't it? Really?
It's not. It's worse than what you're saying, though. So brace yourself, because it's not just Hollywood Wives. There's spinoffs. There's Dallas, I think, and Nashville, and Northeast, like New York. I'm probably getting there's various spinoffs of different. There's the New Jersey thing with the New Jersey weirdos, all the Italian mobster guys and their wives with all the Botox and everything. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Good luck with that. I can't even answer that. I have no answer to that.
Hence, I don't watch TV in my household whatsoever.
That's a good plan. That's a good plan. All right, man. I got to get this edited. We've talked for a long time. It's been a good one. I appreciate it, Pilgrim, for coming by once again. Everybody else, good luck out there this week. Make sure you get all your missions done and all that stuff. And that's all I got, man. That's it. I'm going to say goodbye. Guido says goodbye.
Thank you very much, sir.
See ya.
Pilgrim says goodbye.